Easy E, how are we?
Shawnee, do you want to practice your French?
No, not really. I did French for like 1 year back in secondary school back in like the 1970s. It feels like at this stage. So I know coming to Tapel and I can't speak French. So I have to fucking do the talking.
Yeah,
two people the reference.
you have to nail a few things over here. One is je suis très désolé. I am very sorry. That's when you plow someone over on the slopes, and then afterwards you just say ça va and give them a thumbs up, and then you plow on down the hill.
What's ça va?
Oh, you all right? Yeah, or you good? You know, like everything all right? You know, it's kind of like you all right? Yeah.
I'd expect a lot of people giving you universal sign language of just the middle finger being thrown at you.
Do you know what's mad? Like I haven't done French since the leaving cert, but how much of it stays with you is actually kind of scary. Like you're remembering words. It's just the confidence putting it together. But like even tonight going out for dinner, I was able to order a table for 6, and she was like, "I've no room at the inn," and I was like, "Well, fuck no."
Pardon your French.
My French wasn't that good, but no, like it just in general, and just having that little bit to understand. They've said this, and I kind of understand what they're saying. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Speaking of you in France, I got a notification on my phone there this afternoon while I lay on the couch, and it was like, Eric Lawless has uploaded his first Strava activity in quite a while. First in a while or something. I said, I can't remember exactly what it is. So obviously you're in France, you're skiing, you haven't been able to train and stuff for the last 28 plus days because you had a lot put on your mind, I suppose, for lack of a better term right now. How you getting on?
Oh, it's not a ski holiday, it's a ski camp.
a ski camp. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They're just everyone else is so good at skiing, and I am so average, and they're like absolutely booting it down the hill, and like they're all just like do their phones out recording themselves, and I am fighting for my life from the top of the mountain to the bottom. No, I'm not bad. I can get down and I can hold my own, but yeah, it turns into like, especially in the evening time, it turns into the wacky races. Like there's like kids, like they must be about 3 years of age, and they're all snaking down. And then you have 95 kilo me just barreling down. I can barely turn. I'm like, get out of the way. I know. Look, I'm probably not giving myself credit. I'm okay. I can manage it, but it's come 3 o'clock. I'm done.
Right.
I'm done, and they're all like, let's take on the next mountain, and I'm like, no, I'd get into bed right now.
Does it take a lot of fitness, a lot of like cardio, or just do you feel more wrecked because you haven't trained much, or do you feel like you're just flying down a hill anyway? It's just hold on for dear life.
Not necessarily. Like it's a leg workout and a half. Like by 2 o'clock, my right leg just stopped working. Like my right quad was just so tense that you're trying to lift your toe to turn, and it becomes more labored. I actually have to physically think, like lift leg, turn this way.
Gotcha.
And it's just so labored. Like even like, so today I've done nothing, only sit on the couch for 28 days, right?
Right.
4,791 calories on the Garmin today. So that's about the same as what we churn up doing the marathon-ish on the watch. So
that's intense. All right, so your heart rate is constantly up then throughout today.
It's up, and not only that, we're at 3,000 meters, so about 9,000 to 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
So like we walked up to dinner tonight, and I mean like it's 300, 400 meters up the hill, up a few steps. My heart rate was 140 from the hotel to the dinner table.
You've done easy runs with less than that.
Oh, it's in such a bad way. But yeah, no, I'm very tired now. I'm always tired when I do it, even when I was fit. But the last time I came, I'm still tired because it is so different. I haven't been doing it since a younger age, so I started to really learn only in the last couple of years. So it's not something that comes natural. My body position and form and all is not natural. It's all learning. But again, it's consistency, because we came last year as well. So by this, I'd say I'm kind of on a par with where I was on my second to last day last year. on my first day, if that makes sense. So there is progress there. Like I took on a few black slopes today. I was kind of like, I didn't realize because the sunglasses were on. I was like, oh, this is blue. And then it was like, you're on a black slope. I was like, oh.
Is that just color grading for the harder slope or steeper slope? Is it, or faster slope? Yeah,
green. It goes green, green, blue, red, black. So black is best of luck.
Right.
But yeah, no, like for me, it was a little bit scary. But yeah, no, it's because you just don't know what's around the next hill or over the next little. It looks like a cliff edge, and then you get there. It's like, oh, it's not so bad. But yeah, definitely challenging. It's definitely tough on the body. I took a bad fall on the way home. Actually,
you fallen already?
Yeah, well, look, I have a rule: don't fall before 12. And we were getting off a ski lift, and there was a snowboarder beside us. I'm gonna say no more on the snowboarder. But anyway, we were getting off the lift, and on the ski lift, top of this hill. Once you get off the top, like there's big red barriers, danger, danger, danger. Like turn right. So if you don't turn right, you're off the edge of the cliff. He is on the immediate right of the ski lift. Then it's me. Then it's Katie's dad. Then it's Katie, who's on the furthest to the or closest to the cliff. So anyway, we get off the ski lift. Everyone's like, okay, turn right, turn right. Snowboarder cannot turn. Continues to go straight. Cuts us off. Plows through me. I plow through Katie's dad. And we are literally at the barrier on the cliff edge because your man didn't turn right. I was like, oh my God. So there's little moments like that you're like, so that was the first time I fell. And then after lunch, about 3, I was tired. And you're just prone to mistakes, especially at my level. Like the rest of them get away with it. But yeah, it was about 5 or 6 falls on the way home. And I got lost and everything. I was on my own. But yeah, it was, I took a bad one. I was coming at a bit of speed. And then it was like, bit of a ski school in front of me, and then people just decide to stop because they get scared and stuff, and I haven't got the facilities to turn as quickly as other skiers.
Right.
I was just like, I just had to commit to death. So I just tried to get around them and knew I was going to fall. I hit this mogul. It was a big one. Got air time, and when I hit the ground, do you remember in the American football days? Remember when you got that hit and you'd feel your neck crunch and you just go, oh. Well, anyway, I hit the ground and I felt that kind of whiplash crunch. And I was like, oh. And then after that, then I was like, yeah, that was a bad one. And then just climbed. The worst of it all is not actually the fall. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a little bit. But my skis were still on. I'd nearly rather they weren't, because then you have to try and get back up while your legs are under you. And
they're supposed to break off easy though, no?
Yeah, it depends on what angle to come off. They're kind of, it's based off your weight, so it depends on the pressure that's put on them and they come off. But like, I didn't fall in terms of like my leg sideways. I just kind of fell back on myself, if that makes sense. Right. And that's when I hit the back of the head and got that little bit of a whiplash. But my skis were still on, and like there was one fall I had as well where I kind of fallen, and then once you're head first down the slope, you just keep sliding. So I was like,
oh Jesus.
Trying to just get it down. Now, I'm probably not selling ski holidays, but
you're absolutely not.
So much fun. I hit 72.5 kilometers an hour down a slope. It was so good. Now I'm not one for the speed. Like I do have very high self-preservation. So like the guys who were with us were hitting 100 kilometers an hour. I was like slow in comparison, because you see like there's a runoff. You know, like you're coming down a slope and then you have the run up on the other side. So you have to keep speed, otherwise you have to walk up the hill. Right. So you kind of, your brain just goes, I'm not doing that walk, and you just commit to it. But yeah, like it's you're going so fast that your eyes start to water. You're like, oh, this is cool. Now I'm sure there's people listening going,
error is so
it's so
don't like
it's
that
good.
now.
But then there's people probably listening being like 72 is that it? I don't know, you're all fantastic people. I don't care. I had a great time. So yeah, that's day 1 of 6. But yeah, I'm very tired. Very, very tired. And getting into bed with 5,000 calories burnt for essentially just sliding down hills.
That's phenomenal. Like I was doing a little bit of research in this podcast, because I've seen 1 or 2 things and I want to look into it deeper. Like the number one activity for burning calories. So we're going to get into that after the intro. Like the number one thing for burning body fat actually it was. So that number one exercise you should be doing to burn body fat. And I'm going to talk about why I don't really agree with it. So then you come on with that, just 5,000 calories and I watch. I'm like, no, it's gone. Don't care now. But if you can't afford a skiing holiday, you may want to listen to the rest of this episode of the podcast. So with that said, we're going to do it right this week. We're going to hit the intro and change topic. Let's go. So the number one thing, activity that people should be doing for burning body fat. I'm not going to ask you to guess and stuff like that and put you in the spot because we haven't talked about this for the episode. But unless you really want to guess.
I do have the one pet hate where people say you need to do sit-ups to burn belly fat.
It's not sit-ups. And God, no, I agree with that. It's stupid. It's not. It's definitely not sit-ups. The answer according to this is sprinting. So if you want to burn body fat, sprinting. And the reason being, because there's a study where there's a meta-analysis. So they took 75 different studies and they compared sprinting with high-intensity interval training and they compared it with just more steady-state kind of cardio, like long jogs. So to put a bit more context in it, the sprinting was like max intensity out of 10 because you're going all out. So the way they had it was the average of like 4 to 8 sprints of going flat out for 30 seconds. But you're getting full recovery. So you're probably only doing like a 20-25 minute session, which contains 8 sprints. And then they had the high intensity interval sessions where it may be around 40 minutes. Your typical circuit training sessions, that kind of thing. But like it may be like 2 to 4 minutes of work or like 2 to 4 minutes of work, 1 to 2 minutes of rest. So you're not quite fully recovered before you get back at it. But the intensity is 8 because you can't maintain intensity 10 for 4 minutes. And you could argue, is that really high intensity training? Like I would consider high intensity training being more like 10 seconds of work and 50 seconds of rest, but that's getting into, technicalities and stuff. And the other one was just no rest, but steady state. So like near the end of 45, 50 minutes, you're starting to feel a little bit tired and stuff and breathing a bit more. So what they reckon was that you burned significantly more body fat, they say, when you're sprinting compared to when you're doing steady state, because the time is what it takes to, like you're going, it's more efficient, like you're 20 minutes in and out, whereas the cardio, you could be 60 minutes of stuff and you're not quite getting it. And that the high intensity interval training was somewhere in the middle. So if you want to do something, and you're seeing different random articles from typical clickbait sites, like just go out and sprint. Here's where I have the issue. I don't know about you. If I go out and go for 8 sprints, even if we warm for 10 minutes, and you tell me to go for an all-out, flat-out sprint, I can't tell you the last time I went an all-out, flat-out sprint. Like I unless I was running after a bus, and I haven't done that in quite a while. Like a flat-out sprint, I know a hamstring is going. Like I just know it's gonna feel like that. It's just generating that power to go. Now intervals, you're going. Let's say if you're going like a 400 meter interval or even 800 meter interval, you're not flat-out sprinting because at the minute 30, maybe people listening might do it in a minute 10, minute 20, whatever. That's still not flat-out sprint. That's still building up and you're going like 70, 80% of your max effort. To go 100% max effort, one, if you're not that conditioned, if you're not that powerful, if you're only getting into training, you're probably not going to get max intensity. But the fitter you are, the more power you develop, the stronger you get, the more you get to that stage. And I just feel like if you ever see someone pull a hamstring, it's like running after a ball, a good bit towards the ball, and then the hamstring goes. Like you don't see a soccer player turn and like accelerating towards the ball for like 5 seconds and the hamstring goes. It's normally like a little bit longer of a run before a player pulls up. So I feel like it's just telling someone, hey, just go out and tell everyone what you need to do is burn. And I hate the whole burn body fat thing because we've talked about a lot more of that is down to nutrition because it doesn't take into account what they're eating outside the training thing. But I think just saying to anyone, go out and just do sprints. And even if you are doing sprints, you're not sprinting 3-4 times a week either. You're not, because your body is just not going to recover. Like if you are powerful enough to go for flat out sprints, you're not recovering.
Yeah, like it's I think it's wrong to say, and this is where I don't like when you isolate a topic that's close to people's hearts, because everyone's like body fat. We're in the Instagram world, and it's like, all right, what am I going to do? Well, now I'm going to do intermittent fasting, and I'm going to sprint while I'm fasting, and all this crack. Like, I got like a lot of theories round into one. If you want to burn body fat, lift heavy weights and do a little bit of cardio, therefore building more muscle mass, which eats more body fat, and then cut down what you're eating, and then you'll double up on the fun. Like but sprinting being explosive, you're using the ATP within the cells, which is a different kind of category of energy. Once you deplete that, then you have to get into the glucose. You know, like there's a whole cascade of things that's actually happening before you're getting into body fat. And body fat only happens once you've exhausted all of these other things. So I would say that they're saying that the sprinting, because you're doing this explosive one, you're probably developing more muscle, therefore your basal metabolic rate might increase. You know, like there's so much more to it than just being like, let's go sprinting to burn body fat. Like, it's pure shit. Same as the whole do sit-ups to burn, you know, like there is
the sit-up things is I'd like to think most people listening now aren't like, oh geez, I gotta burn body fat in the morning. I gotta do like, 100 sit-ups, that's me done, throughout the day and stuff like that, or whatever it is, because you can't just go, I'm gonna get rid of body fat from my stomach. But just to go back, even if you're like, I do want to do more, like if I want to do more sprinting or start incorporating sprinting, I would do it like once a week, and I wouldn't go 100% flat out. I'd probably go like, I'd build up for a good 10, 15, 20 minute warm, and maybe I'd keep I wouldn't be sprinting the length of a pitch. I'd probably just do like 10 meters or 20 meters. So you're at that point where you're trying to go fast and you haven't hit your max speed yet before you have to slow down because you've hit your 20 meters part. Two other ways that I probably prefer to do it for people just getting in, if they do want to go, I want to get more sprint and just get stronger and stuff, would be hill sprints and using a sled. I love using a sled because you can load it up. You can put so much weight on it, and you're not going to pull a hamstring doing it. The worst thing that's going to happen is that sled doesn't move and you're just dead dog tired. You drop your knees like, this thing is too heavy, it's too hard, and you get to build up that way. It's just a lot safer than when you see people flat out sprinting, being like, something is going to happen unless you're really in tune with your, even still, like pro athletes all the time. Like I think Usain Bolt's last race, I could be wrong. One of his last race, he pulled a hammy at the very end of it. Like it's just, but you've seen it. He didn't pull the hammy in the first 30, 40 meters. Now someone's going to be like, he actually did. I think it was nearer to the end of it. I really hope I was in the podcast. I think it was near the end that they pulled it.
I don't want to be wrong on this one. I think
near the one.
I think it was in the 200 meter he did it.
Oh, was it 200 meter?
Yeah, I think so. And as he was turning on to the final 100, I think that's where it happened.
Well, my point is, it's fairly into it. It's not at the very start. So if you are doing it, the very short sprints, and then 6 to 8 of them, but you get your full recovery as well. So going back to the study, it's like it's a 10 out of 10 on the effort, building up to a 10 out of 10 on the effort after a couple of weeks. But then you're getting full recovery before you go again, because you're like, you talk about ATP stores, stuff like that again. It takes a while for them to build back up. If you're going to go for a full sprint, 30 seconds, and 30 seconds, you think you're going for a full sprint again, you're more than likely not. You're not. There's no way that speed's the same. There's no way you're going all out. Even going all out for 30 seconds is a long, long time. Like if you look at 100 meter sprinters, they're like, it looks like for example, you see Usain Bolt, it's like he's going fast at the end. It's like, no, he gets his peak speed around the 40 meter, the 50 meter back. And he's just such a phenomenal athlete that he's able to maintain that for the rest of the 100 meters. And the other athletes are not able to maintain it as long. And he's just able to maintain that max speed, that max velocity all the way through.
Yeah, just like, I suppose, if we break this down into categories, because sprinting, people are probably like, well, I do this in GA and I do this in soccer and I do it, like, if you were running, it depends on the distance, obviously, you are trying to achieve and the pace in which you are trying to do it. But I would be more focused on, let's take short distance, right? If you are GAA/sprinter/ this, I'd be working on acceleration and explosive power rather than worrying about sprinting for the 30 seconds. I'd be worrying about how quick can you get the feet turning over the first 5 seconds.
The power in step.
That would be the power in the step. And that was what I would be training. If I was training a GAA team or I was getting involved, I'd be working on the explosive power, the acceleration, using resistance and stuff over 5 yards, 10 yards. Because at the same time, when we spoke about 80-20 rule, you don't want to be doing 8 30-meter all-out sprints. like you could do 5 seconds. You could probably do that 20 times until people got the same tiredness.
Yeah.
But you've built up that explosive power, which to me is slightly different. And then when you get into the running thing, so even for me with the long distance stuff, sprinting, not interested. Strides, okay, strides. Why? Gait analysis. Let's look at how I'm running. Strides will actually increase the form that I'm trying to achieve. That gliding effect as opposed to dragging my heels along the ground. So I'm using strides, which is a faster pace, to try and force my body into a gait that I'm looking to do a run in. So strides is very good. And then you talked about hill sprints as well. So yes, are you trying to sprint up a hill? Absolutely. But what is it doing? When you're going up a hill, you're in slightly more of a natural running position as well.
Yes.
So you're trying to force that gait while adding the resistance up a hill, etc., etc. So you're trying to teach the body, I suppose, in a better running form, so that you can keep speed over a longer distance of time. It's each of them has a different purpose depending on what you're doing. And I know people are like, well, we do sprints all the time. I was like shuttles are fantastic because it's out, it's back, it's explosive. And that's why preseason training, when you get into the soccer ball or the GAA, it's all like get to the cone, back, get to this, back, and it's all about acceleration, explosive power, because that's what it is in that sport. It's the speed and transition. It's the speed to change direction. Whereas when you're into the long game, unless you're a sprinter, it'll be more strides for me personally. And it's just my own opinion.
Yeah, well, Rachel on the podcast has played many times. She loves finishing a lot of her easy runs on those strides, getting knees up. The hill runs, the knee has to come up, otherwise your foot's going to bounce off the ground, because it depends on how steep the incline is in the hill. The same with the sled, you have to punch that knee forward and push the ground through to get that extension of the back leg. It's very similar to hills. So if you got a good hill near you, I mean, work away on that. Run up, the 20, 30 meters. You're not going to get in that full not full velocity speed like you would on a flat surface, which means that you won't get injured, but you're less likely to get injured doing hill sprints than you are doing flat out sprints. And to your point, I don't think running wise, I don't think you need it because you're never going to go flat out, like only in the last 10 seconds of a race, and even then you're flat out, then it's probably not going to be a normal sprint. Like, you may feel like you're going flat out, but you're not going as flat out as you would if you were rested leading up to then. So I don't think sprinting is needed for any sort of endurance running, or like any sort of endurance running. I mean, 100 meters and stuff, that's obviously different, but like the 5K and stuff like that, I don't think sprints are great for that. And I wouldn't do sprints just because, you see online this article saying this is the best way to burn body fat. It's like the percentages aren't that much on it. I think there's a lot more to it than that. I think it's just a very misleading headline to say this. If something ever says on the internet, this one thing will help you burn body fat better than anything else, I would look at it with a question mark on it and go, where are they really going with this? Is it just a clickbait for advertising to get you reading, or is there something? Are they selling a product at the end of it as well? I don't think there's just one thing for everyone.
I think as well, I kind of get annoyed at those things, because if people, you have to put yourself in the mindset, if you're carrying extra body fat, you're probably not too happy with yourself. And then you're looking at this is the best way to do it. You're looking for every solution to try lose it, shed it, get into a better shape. You're living in the Instagram world. You want to be better than everything else, just, it's just, I don't really like it. I don't like when things are like, this is the best to do this and stuff. It's just, it kind of irks me a little bit.
And as someone's looking at going, I need to get in shape and stuff, and I haven't done anything in a while, and all of a sudden you read a headline that says, hey, sprinting. It's like, okay, I haven't ran in ages. What I'm going to do? I'm going to start sprinting. I'm going to hit the road and go as fast as I can for 30 seconds. Good luck to you. That's not going to end well,
Yeah, they'd be better off walking and doing a jog every now and again.
So it's different stages for different people, and it's just something that I'm just not a big fan of. I know you're in France. I know you're feeling pretty tired. You're skiing. You're 4,000 calories. I think I did like maybe 100 today. I've done feck all today. But anyway, before we wrap up the podcast, you left the podcast on a big cliffhanger last week.
Well, I've had a few cliffhangers already this week myself. But,
no pun intended on my end.
But this is a little bit of info. Now, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot because anyone in my area that's listening to this, I am probably going to end up fighting you outside an Aldi or something. But
right.
There is this new app, or maybe it's not new. It's new to me. It's called Too Good to Go.
Too Good to Go. It's like TOO good, or do you have like a two, like number two?
Let me, TOO, Too Good to Go. It's spelled, properly. There's no phonetics or anything.
Sometimes they added that they give.
Yeah. So Too Good to Go. Like the app symbol is like 3 green kind of ovals in various different shades on a white background. So if you're looking at it, that's what it is. But essentially, what it is so we operate at home. We have a freezer. And there's only 2 of us in the apartment. So most of the stuff we buy, we freeze. Then we defrost as we need. I'll cook the meals. And we're trying our best not to waste food. And what this app is, essentially, is about not wasting food. So as our freezer gets low, we won't buy anything else for the freezer now. We've fairly stocked ourselves up. But as it gets low, we go onto this app. So Aldi stores, and this is the big thing about it. Now, there's plenty of other cafes and stuff that are on it, but Aldi have come on board with this app. So did you ever go into Aldi and see when they're selling things for 30% off?
Yeah, I live a student life, man. If I go to these supermarkets, I go straight to that aisle still. She pulls me back. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, just have it.
I
can tell you where they all are menu straight away.
It's still good food. And if it's going in the freezer, it doesn't matter. So it's all good. But Aldi used to go to 75% off on the day the item was going off because they just wanted to get rid of it. Right. But they've stopped doing it over the last little while. And I was like, what the hell? Me being still living the student life, but I hate wasting food and I always get the best value for it. Like, why would I pay the full price for the mince when I'm getting it? So anyway, Too Good to Go. Basically, you go on the night before and Aldi will, for €4, so $3.99, you get a mystery bag.
A mystery bag.
So say today I purchase a mystery bag from Aldi in Clane for tomorrow. I show up to the shop at 9:30. They will hand me a bag. I will open the bag. There could be 3 packets of mince, 4 bits of chicken, a bit of pasta that's probably going off, 2 wraps, whatever. Anything that was going off. Yeah, it's a mystery bag. Anything that was going off that day is in a bag and is handed to you. And if you operate on putting your food in the freezer or you've got people at home, you can get I think we got €30 worth of food for €4.
So there's no levels to this. It's just like €4. Everything could be in this bag. As long as it's almost out of date that day.
Yeah, it could be a pan of bread. Now we got, I think it was lamb chops and we got mince, we got fancy Angus burgers with bacon and cheese. We got fresh pasta sauces. We got you get your random stuff. We got the falafel wrap that was going off that day. I was like, oh, right, no, we're not really into that one.
Yeah.
So
it's more hit and miss, you're saying. It has been for you.
But it's more hit and miss because even the packet of burgers we got were €4 on their own. So just by buying this bag, anything more than burgers was a bonus because you were still getting them for a decent price, So anything extra was just fantastic. But I'm just having a look through here. There's Starbucks in Liffey Valley. There's Offbeat Donuts, and now they're $5.99. So Starbucks is $4.99. Offbeat Donuts is $5.99, and you just get a mystery box. You could get 12 donuts. You might get 3 donuts. I don't know what they're going to give you. A lot of coffee shops and stuff. So at the end of the day, when they're not selling their cakes or their whatever, I'm not telling. This could be a bad road now.
I've just seen the road they're going down there now.
Yeah. But
no such thing as bad food and all that. But sure, you're feeding people cakes and stuff every single day for dinner. They're going to have so much energy and feel good in them to go sprinting after this. So we're telling people all the good stuff to be doing today.
Sure, eat the cakes. You'll burn the fat off sprinting.
Oh, God.
There's a butcher's Nace, and they do a surprise bag for $4.99 as well. So my point, if you're clever about how you're managing your food in your home, especially with the use of a freezer, like it's no issue to us to go in and just have a look at the mystery bag, because it's gonna like go straight into the freezer, and we will use it at some point, because that's how we do it. We'll do our shop, and then we don't buy anything bar the perishables, the fresh breads or the fruits and stuff week by week. Everything else is bulk bought, and then we just try and eat everything or come up with a meal or whatever that week, or each day. But yeah, so too good to go. I'd recommend everyone have a look at it, and especially with Aldi. Just don't pick Klein or Nace or I'll fight you. But apart from that, like, I know, to be fair, like it's not like I'm going to the shop every day. It's when the freezer gets low, you might buy it like each day for a week, and you've spent, so say 5 days, you'll spend €20 and you'll probably have €100 worth of food into your freezer. So it is something for our listeners. If you haven't heard of it yet, definitely get onto it.
More money you spend on races and stuff, we've got your food covered. That's how we're going to tie this one in a bow this week.
You'll be sprinting to Aldi just to get them.
And on that note, anything else to add this week's episode of the podcast?
No, that's it. I'll have some more about my ski trip next week, and we might talk a little bit of marathon talk next week. Who knows?
Right, fair enough. Well, take it easy. Don't start falling again, all over the shop over there. And enjoy yourself the next couple of days of France. The rest of us will do whatever. God knows we're listening to this podcast. Someone's going to say, like, here in the morning, I don't even know what it's like here tomorrow. I'm ranting now. I'm tired. I need my bed. So enjoy yourself the next couple of weeks. And that's it for myself and Eric. Take care.
Bye-bye.